Hi folks, as you can see down below, the haunting. Now if I had a Vincent Price type voice, I would have done it in that lovely spooky way, but I bloody well haven't, so gotta put up with me. It's all about the haunting today, and in a couple of minutes or less I will tell you why. But to start with, seeing as today is the haunting, no Carolina Reaper. Reaper would go in, but Ghost Chili. Ha! Haunting, Ghost Chili. Oh well. Nearly as good, but way down the bloody scale. It's very nice. Anyway, the haunting. So what's this all about? Actually, I did do a short series on the paranormal, and I did talk on it. So I'm probably going to bloody repeat myself, but who bloody cares? And it's all to do with this, because the other day, Monday probably, this come up for some reason, and I thought I'll buy the film because I've never seen the bloody film. I saw the trailer. I went to see some film with the school, and there was a trailer on, and it was called The Haunting, and this must have been 1964, 3 I think, because this come out in 63, so I'm sure this was 63. The Haunting, I'll put a picture up. That's what it looks like. This is all bloody shiny. Anyway, in there is the DVD, The Haunting. And I remember seeing it. It was, the trailer was a little bit sort of spooky. I must have been 16 because we'd just started leaving school at 16 at that time. So, yeah. Living at school, I'd made it clear that my career, I wanted to be in catering. So catering come in pretty early. And unbeknown to me, the head or the head and the headmistress, somebody thought, go and get my freaking job. And it just so happened to be, I think, I keep having the thoughts in my mind, Ettington Hall, Ettington Manor, but it was a big hotel at the time, and it must have been a manor. It must have been a big manor house, flipping great big house, stood in the middle of fields, near a little village called Ettington. So now I believe it was an hotel. I've got a feeling it wasn't, and then it is again. So let's call it Ettington Hotel. Anyway, The Haunting. If you sort of look at the back there, there is a big spooky looking building, and that's where they filmed it. But anyway, I went to work there, and my first reaction was, my first sighting was, flipping heck. Went in these gates, going down this long driveway, like I said, we was in fields, and there's this building sitting there, this flipping great big building. Tell you what, I'll put a picture up now of the building, one or two pictures now. So there you go, that's the building. That's what I saw coming up to it. Fine, things don't faze me. It looked big and sort of spookyish, but exciting. Anyway, got there, was introduced, went in, introduced, and the thing with that place is, I'd just left school. I'd had experiences as a younger kid of paranormal bits and bobs, but this was the first time I'd actually felt something tangible, really tangible. And it was weird to me because being that age I wasn't used to that feeling. I didn't quite know what it was and everything. Wasn't frightening, it wasn't, I never thought it was, is the word ominous? Harmful, anything like that, but it felt flipping bad. So I've always said, from the first step over the door to the last step coming out, that was there, not at that particular time, at that particular time, in that particular place or that particular place. That was there 24/7, day in, day out, night in, night out. It was there all the time. Yeah, and maybe there was times through the day you felt it more than you did others, but it was there all the time. And because I was living there and it was a sort of job that you didn't really leave, you know, and as soon as you were living there, if you weren't working, you'd be in your room or you'd be in a staff room watching TV with the others or something like that. Now, talking about staff area, the hotel itself was very gothic, very sort of spooky-ish, but like any place, when you go over there, staff areas and everything, it's totally different to that area. So it's not quite as posh and everything in that way. Still very gothic, still very old, but staff area type of areas. And probably that made it feel again different. I remember going upstairs, you'd go upstairs to where my room was and you could feel it. You could feel it in the bedroom. Wherever you went, you flipping felt it. Eventually I'd go outside for different things and you felt it out there. So it weren't just in there, it was out there as well. The building, there was there'd been a church or something outside. A lot of it had fallen, collapsed. There was some bits of building, and there was one chapel left, which I'll tell you about shortly. One side chapel left, which they did use occasionally for different things, and this was coming up to Christmas, so it was going to be used for Christmas. But remind me, got to tell you about that. So yeah, I'm in this place, it feels like that all the time. And before I forget, because I probably will forget if I get to tell you later, years later I was looking up that place, trying to find out stuff about it. I was looking up spooky places, haunted places in the UK, and apparently that was the most haunted hotel at least in the flipping country, which does not surprise me. Like I said, it never felt bad. It never felt like anything drastic was going to happen, but there was this deep sort of, I don't know what it was. It was just there all the time. You could feel it. Little bit about the place. When you went in, there was a big hall, seats over here, and a desk. And over this side there was a great big fireplace, stone fireplace. And above the stone fireplace there was stonework and wood panels in it and everything. And that two big wood panels, 1, 2 there. And a lot of us that worked there were nosy buggers, so we were into everything. You could actually get these panels and open them up. But when you opened them up, it was just big sheets of chipwood, plywood, something like that, blocking. Now why they were blocking? Because you could get in there, so it had been blocked off. You could get in there, go down under the hotel, and that side chapel that was left, this is where it comes in, that side chapel that was left, this passageway would go towards that chapel into a crypt underneath that chapel with 36 stone coffins in, apparently, and then it'd go out the other side down to the river's edge. And I believe, from what I'm told by some youngsters that went to work there that was into bloody everything, they went down there and there was an opening, and it had bars and that on it, so people couldn't get that way. Now what that was about, I believe it was the time of the Roundheads or something like that. It was a time when certain people would be hunted out. And if they had any suspicion that, I don't know if it was Roundheads, and if they had a suspicion that certain Cavaliers or whatever were there, what would happen if they got wind of it? They would be down through this fireplace, down the tunnel, through the crypt, which was a church at the time, down to the riverside where horses would be waiting on the horses, bugger off by the time the Roundheads got there. So that was their chapel, 36 coffins down there. I'll tell you the story about the chapel now while it's fresh. Coming up to Christmas, manager comes along, there's me and this other lad, we were sort of friends. He said, "You two, come with me, we're going over there, I want to sort it out, get some of it sorted out for this Christmas little service or something like the other." Anyway, fine, I was thinking, flipping out, 36 down there, what's down there? Like I said, outside you could feel this feeling, and this side chapel wasn't anything different. As you were going up to it, you felt it. So I don't know if it was anything to do with people down there. Unlocked it, we went in, it was this little room going down, pews, and then there was an altar down the end, candlesticks and such, and then there was I think it just one step down from the altar to where the pews were, and little kneeler going along where I suppose if there was a sacrament or something, people would go and kneel on there and take the bread and all that. Anyway, I went in and I could feel this like nobody's freaking business. I didn't want to be in there. Manager went up the top, taking candlesticks off the altar and everything. We all had these cleaned and blah. My friend went up, doing whatever. I was stood just inside the door. And said, "Hey, come here, just give out with this, will you?" Shite. So I went walking up this little aisle, and then I did the thing that I really should not have done. Instead of just stepping up the step, dickhead here puts a foot on the little kneeler to go up. What happens as I stand on the kneeler, the wood or whatever it's made of just bowed, and I went down, step down. All I could tell was I was going downwards, and what was down there was this flipping crypt with 36 stone coffins, and that's where I thought I was bloody going. So that put the freaking wind up me. So we did whatever, and then we was walking out. Manager went out, my friend went out and shut the freaking door on me. Left me in there. So that was an experience. So that was the experience of that chapel. That said, I don't know whether spirits were of people in that chapel, and I would assume the fact that was still there was the fact that that was family or whatever of when that place was a manor, whatever, the Lord Lady, whatever, I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, that was when you walked in the door. Just over there, when you looked, there was a great big staircase. One of these old Gothic staircases with the big banisters and everything, quite wide. And as you looked over, it went sideways up like that. And up there was the rooms and all that sort of thing. I think I only ever went up there once, and again you could feel it on them flipping stairs. You could really feel it on those stairs. To the right of those stairs you turned, and it was all panelled. The place was all panelled out, dark panels. You went to the right, there was a little bar, seats and everything, a little bar. And if you went in and you turned right, there was all these bookcases. But if you went there and you pressed something, the bookcase is open. And it went into this massive great room, which was the dance room or whatever you was going to do in there. So really it was a marvellous place, but it had this freaking haunting about it. I found out a long time later that one of the main, if not the main, ghost of that place is called, I think it was the White Lady. I don't know if it was either the Grey Lady or the White Lady. And this woman's seen, and she goes on that staircase, which is probably why it felt so. It's one of the places that felt I could feel it the most in the hotel. So she probably used that staircase a lot. So yeah, it sort of tied in with this lady in grey or white, whatever. Can't remember at the moment. But anyway, so yeah, I'm not going to go in great detail now. That's just a little bits on the surface. Eventually I did leave, went home, and like I said, it wasn't till I walked out the door to leave Didn't feel it anymore. I often thought to myself, seeing as it's an hotel, should I go back, see if I feel all those things still? I think I'll feel indifferent now because it's so many years on and I understand what those feelings are. They were fresh and a bit weird at the time. But then something tells me, you've been there, done that, leave well alone. Maybe I went there and maybe I left and that was it. Leave well alone, leave it where it is. Have your memories. So, yeah. The Haunting. And that's how it all come about, really. Film trailer. Ended up in the hotel, or the big Gothic house, with all the spooky and wonderful feelings that were going on. Did I ever see the lady? I don't know. One thing I found out over the years is people say, oh, ghosts, I've never seen a ghost. I think most people have, but you wouldn't know it. You just wouldn't necessarily know it. You could walk along and go, aye, we could have said freaking aye, sort of thing. You wouldn't know it. So, that is The Haunting. Not very spooky, but if you want to feel spooky, freaking go stop at the hotel. I'll give them that advert for free. I got no reason to believe that that lady's still in there and all those other feelings and spirits are not there. And people must have felt it for it to be classed as the most haunted hotel. There must be stories about it. So I'm gonna challenge this ghost, bugger off and leave you to it.